Well, legal. Looks like we witnessed a bit of history last night, something that's never happened before. As you know, the Game Awards was last night, so we're going to talk about that history and what that means for the exclusives that one platform, that one Donkey Blue seems to always talk about. We're also going to dive in to that new technology that was just announced with Microsoft and AMD partnership. That new technology is called FSR Redstone. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Microsoft's latest announcements in terms of improving the Windows 11 overall gaming experience and how they can make it better. And we're also going to talk about more news because it seems like we got hit with a heavy hitter of news this week. A lot of stuff. The big thing is the next DevDirect from Microsoft. This DevDirect is looking to be the biggest DevDirect we have ever been able to watch and able to hold. So let's go ahead and cut to it, and we're going to start talking about it. So I don't know about you, but tonight was definitely special in a lot of ways. We saw things we've never seen before. There were some good announcements.
All our exclusives gone. They can't do this to us.
Yeah. We saw how important that was last night, right?
They can't do this to us. All our exclusives gone. They can't do this to us.
Oh, hush.
Yeah, it was quite funny last night, wasn't it?
All our exclusives gone.
The following is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Okay, Rez. Okay, man. All right. I'm sorry, Rez. I'm sorry, man. I couldn't help it, man. Okay. Jago 6 in the building. Ray T in the building. Y'all already know.
Jago 6.
Rez, go ahead and do your thing, man. I couldn't help myself. Let's go, people. Let's go.
So last night was a lot of revelations, right? We got some eye-opening information on a lot of stuff that we've been talking about this year, about how the importance of exclusives and the value of your overall content and services is the way of the future in the industry. Last night, we saw not only an historical upset, but historical wins for gaming and independent gaming as a whole. The big thing for me, I thought ironic, is all these years, all this talk, people, especially from Team Blue, attempt to hype up these multiple $100 million games to get outclassed by a game that was made with less than 10 million in their budget. Now that's something special, and that's something to be very proud of, because I think it's a good step forward for the industry, because people are looking for new experiences, right? New types of ways. And what we saw last night was a positive turnaround. I want to say a 360 in the direction of where gaming is going. And what do I mean by that? Well, as you saw last night, And as it was announced throughout the month of December, Sony had been nominated for 17 awards for this Game Awards. And of those nominations, they didn't win a single award. And then you take an independently put together game by a small team, small group, who put together a masterpiece for an eighth or less of a total budget of these major studio games. Now, this is something that I've wanted to see for a long time, because to a lot of people, and to Legal himself as well, he says it all the time, the industry is getting stale. We're seeing the same experiences, the same types of, call them cinematic games. People were waiting for this breath of fresh air, this excitement. This has never been done before. No game in history has swept that many amount of awards, and it wasn't a major studio game. And this also highlights what we always talk about, that the money doesn't matter. The high fidelity doesn't matter. In the end, it's about making a great game. And that great game doesn't have to be studio movie level graphics. It doesn't. We've seen that clear in blue now, that making a game exclusive and making it for hundreds of millions of dollars is not the recipe anymore for awards or for a successful game. We saw that loud and clear last night, and I want to give a major shout out to Expedition 33, because that game is phenomenal through and through, from start to finish. Everything about it, the audio, the gameplay, the combat, the graphics, the writing. And even though it's not, and I preface that by saying that even though the graphics isn't the highlight, they still did a phenomenal job for what they had. That's why the only reason I'm pointing it out. But that game truly showed what gaming should be about and what it is about. It's about coming up with a new idea, a new creative vision that's not tied down by restrictions and by guidelines set by the publisher. This is something that they came up on their own and created from scratch with no red tape. And I also want to give a shout out to South of Midnight for their Impact Award, because they truly deserve that. That game hit all the emotional notes in so many different ways, and it's one of those rare games, rare instances where it actually made me get emotional to where I was tearing up. I mean, this game hits you right in the heart and grabs it and squeezes it and just gets you to that level of where you're just broken up, because it just hits you in that certain way. And it was just a phenomenal story, narrative driven game, and such a beautiful game too. So shout out to South of Midnight, man. They did a phenomenal job. I'm so glad they won that award. And I also want to make a shout out to another great game. It's on a completely different spectrum, but it's a well-known franchise that we've been playing for years and years, and it's what a blockbuster hitter, and that's Doom: The Dark Ages, for winning Innovation to Accessibility Award, which means they make that game as available and as accessible, literally in the term, as possible for any type of gamer, whether they have some sort of eye impairment or physical impairment, or they have some other special situation where they can't play games as a normal gamer, or not normal, but somebody who is not impaired would. And it is such a phenomenal game. On top of that, it's a great Doom game. I played it, I beat it. I loved the kind of kaiju battle style that you get kind of towards the middle of the game, where you fight in this big, like, Doom Slayer version of himself. That was a great part. But their developers truly care about gamers. They really invested the time and the effort into making that game as easy as possible for anybody to play. And I'm sure Microsoft as well played a part in that role. So shout out to Doom the Dark Ages for winning as well, which, by the way, if you're taking count, that's 2 awards that Xbox won. But the most humiliating thing of all is the fact that Sony didn't win a single award. I mean, unless you count a TV show, but we're not here for TV shows, are we? We're here for games. So they didn't win anything. And the donkeys have been having meltdowns all day today about the awards. And it just goes to show that this is a sign that people, in my opinion, are losing interest in those games. They're not appealing anymore. They don't hit the same way as they used to, because people want something new. They want something different. They want something they haven't played before, and provide that. They just give you the same experience over and over. There's no change. It's the same thing. So, in my eyes, this is a testament to where I think the shift in gaming is going. And that's not cinematic games anymore. It's these new experimental creative games. It's a new type of RPG game. It's a new type of shooter game we've never seen before. It also shows that creativity is shining through more now. People are recognizing games outside of the usual spectrum of games. It's not just the same big studio games winning every year. Now we're actually seeing a good variety and choice of games that are really great games that are legitimately winning the awards that they should. Because in the past, they were always shunned because it's a lot of times these award shows are popularity contests, and a lot of the games that deserve the awards don't get the awards. So this was a nice breath of fresh air for me to experience this show, because it did change that narrative. And looks like that Sony check didn't clear. Legal. But talking about the show, I thought it was okay. I mean, they did have some decent announcements. There was a couple of games that I was really excited for. As you know, I'm a big Resident Evil fan, so seeing Leon come back to Resident Evil Requiem, that made my whole show for me. I was really excited about that. I was also excited about that game that kind of looked like the Yakuza style. I forgot what it was called, but that one seemed very interesting to me as well. And also the new Tomb Raider. I saw there's already been people online complaining about the look, but it looks fine to me. I know from what I read online, this isn't a continuation of the reboot games that Crystal Dynamics did earlier this decade, but it's a continuation of the older games. But I liked what I saw. I thought it looking like it's going to be a good Tomb Raider game. I thought the Muppet bits were a little played out. I don't know why. I mean, I guess Jeff is a really big Muppet fan. He keeps bringing them back every year. It's not the most exciting thing for me. I think he should do something different next year. The music bits were the music bits. It's nothing different than what we experience every year. So that was all right. So overall, I would say I would probably give this show like a high C, low B. I didn't see anything that really wowed me per se, really blew my mind or anything. And the way they ended the show with that uh, four-player shooter that looks like it's also nothing new, just another generic shooter. That didn't I didn't think that was a good way to end it either. So um, didn't like the end of that. But it was overall it was good. There was a lot of good game announcements. Um, I think the presenters did a really good job. It was nice to see Todd Howard on the stage. We got to see the cast of the Street Fighter movie. I don't know if you caught that part. I don't know how well the movie's gonna do. It seems like to me it's probably not gonna do well. It's probably gonna bomb, but I'm gonna probably watch it anyway because I've always been a Street Fighter fan. Um, More so the movies and the animated shows than the games. But I still played the games when I was growing up, so still a fan there. But really, this is starting to be a pattern, right? Because if you remember a certain game award show a little while ago, uh, one of Sony's top games, Spider-Man 2, got 7 nominations and also didn't win any awards, um, which speaks to me about diversity. People are diversifying in their types of games. They're not playing those Sony games anymore. They're playing them a lot less because they're seem to be more interested in the indie scene, right? Or other types of games that are not the typical third person over the shoulder sad dad or walking sims that Sony likes to churn out, right? We're seeing new experiences, new things that people are trying. They're expanding their horizons. Or it's also not just that too. It's also people are becoming more stagnant too. They're not trying those games because they're still playing the same one or two games that we see top the charts every month. Call of Duty, Fortnite, Minecraft, all that. So it just really goes to show that gaming's in a different space now than it used to be. And it shows that Sony doesn't have that holding power anymore like it used to. It's kind of lost its magic. And it also shows to me that people are growing out of like the age of gamers are changing. The younger crowds, the younger generations aren't playing the same type of games. They're playing different games or they're playing the same games. So they're not really trying those other experiences or those Sony games. So there's a lot of factors there. But overall, I just kind of found it hilarious that Sony had 2 big games and they couldn't win a single award out of neither of them. Um, but if anybody was deserving of an award, it would be Expedition 33 because I played and beat that game, and I plan on playing the new content that they just released, and I'm really excited for what they're going to do next for their next game. I think they're a really talented studio, and they're gonna grow pretty pretty strongly, I think, after this. And I hope that their game is even more successful now because of the show. Because let's talk about that too. There was a lot of people viewing last night. I wouldn't be surprised if they broke records again because when you and I were watching Legal, there was over 1 million viewers watching the show. Um, so the excitement is definitely there. People are ready for the future of gaming, right? We're starting to see a glimpse of that already, and we're going to talk about more of what that means in a little bit. But I think I've wrapped up my opening for the Game Awards and what my thoughts were on it. I want to pass the mic to you before we get into Redstone and get into the Dev Direct, because we're going to talk about that as well. Some excitement there. But I wanted to hear your thoughts, Legal. Do you agree with my thought process here on the Game Awards? Do you think things are changing? Do you think it's funny that they got so many nominations and didn't win a single award? Because I kind of find it quite hilarious, to be honest with you.
You did, because I really found it hilarious. But like I said, man, I predicted this 5 years ago. I told everybody to buckle up, man. Get on your surfboards, ride this wave out, man, and give about 5 years of all this stupidity. They're five is the king of consoles. They're gonna try to make it the best place to play video games, and the reason why they buy PlayStations because of exclusives. They tried every narrative under the rug, man, where all the dirt and scum and cobwebs and everything resides at on their platform. They even tried to talk down and say Xbox was dead, right? And it has no games. And this minute Xbox can put a fucking game over there on PlayStation, they lose their minds, and now they're singing hallelujah, and they got the game, and then they come out find out that the game damn near barely sells 2 million on their platform. Then you come and find out they don't even fucking buy games. They buy like one game a year, and it's like, dude, they're playing these damn free-to-play games. I mean, you saw the year of play when it was time to tax report. You saw all this funny stuff. You saw all this funny stuff come out, and they had to do something, right? Because they've been bumping them gums all year long. So now the pressure is on them, and I don't even know why they pulled the trigger on themselves. They were playing Russian roulette. I don't even know why they did that, right? But I guess they don't understand about the word pride, right? Pride is one of the 7 sins of humanity, and pride can kill you, So, that pride got to them, and they went up and posted their own death certificates. Those damn things were the funniest damn things we ever saw in our lives, right? Posting that shit, acting like he had a flex, and the #1 game he played all year long was Rocket League. The charts, man, nowhere to be found. I mean, poor Ghost of Yote, right? Ghost of Yote, I never flinched on that. That was a joke from the beginning. That was a joke from the whole start. We knew that game wasn't going to win shit. We already knew that, man. It was the same copy and paste from the first one. It's a mimic. You cannot win an award, right? And this is the second time, right, that they just don't get it. The first one was Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 was nothing more. Miles Morales was nothing more but a cutout character of the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one. They took the same animations and just applied it to Miles Morales, and they thought that nobody could see that. Nobody could see that. It's like it's okay to make a new video game, but when it looks like you just skipping over so much stuff that you could just do. There was no reason for Miles Morales to have the same animated actions like Peter Parker. Absolutely no reason at all. And you think gamers are not going to see that, and we're not going to call that out, and then you expect just because that damn game is on PlayStation, and you felt so compelled with the game. Keely is a Donkey King. We know that. There's nothing wrong with that. Damn, this Texas tea is good, man. I don't care about his flagship. I don't care about how goofy he looks. I don't care about none of that, right? I don't care that he doesn't have no kind on what he does, and he's on every damn Game and Workshop. I don't care about none of that, right? All I care about, like I've been saying when it came down to the Game Awards, is show the truth, show the culture, show the community for once. Don't just come out here because you don't, you're hurting on the fact that you just want PlayStation to look a certain way. But like I told y'all, they were all gonna fail you. See, let me go back in time and show you where Jeff Keighley failed himself at on his own show. It wasn't that long ago where Jeff Keighley came out one year, had a Game Awards show, right? And something happened that made people realize, man, something's not right. And I believe it was the year of Forza Horizon 5. The game came out and exploded on the Everybody just knew that this game deserved to be Game of the Year. Everybody knew it. It got so big that Jeff Keighley started making up things as to why it wouldn't be. The reason why I'm telling this story is because he directly spoke to me on Twitter X at the time, explaining why the game wouldn't be a Gotti, right? And he said that the game has no story, you know, and that's the story. Madden won Game of the Year. It didn't have no story back then. Overwatch won Game of the Year. It didn't have no story back then. When we called all these things out, he really didn't want to say anything else. He left, right? So this situation that he had brought abroad was full of shit. Fast forward, you go behind that, right? And like I always told y'all, I said, don't y'all ever forget the year when Last of Us 2 won the Gotti Award. When you saw what Sony had the power to do when it came to the broadcasting, the YouTube channels, and that gaming influence of destruction that they put upon anybody who had a opinion of the game or anything, you got axed out. And so the industry basically carried that game all the way over to the Gotti Award. That's what it did. It moved that game all the way to the Gotti Award. It had so much backlash. People really didn't give a damn. You saw Metacritic and everything, but it didn't matter because the agenda was up for that game.
Talos 3 said the only thing Jeff Keighley won was Miss Piggy.
Facts. And said, you know what? They can do whatever they want to do, man. They can do whatever they want to do. So we saw that. That's what things back up, right? And he had a show, I think it was what, 2 years ago? He had a show where he was criticized, right, for not allowing devs time to appreciate their victory and speak about, you know, the things that mean a lot to them and the journey that they've experienced, you know, because this thing is, even though it's called the Game Awards, we know it's awards for the developers. I always said it should be called the Developers Award, not the Game Awards, right? But he got a lot of slack. He got a lot. Well, he got a lot of flack for that, and he caught a lot of hell from developers all across the board. And a lot of people saying, man, you know, if you're gonna have these shows, you know, you can't just give people, you know, he was talking about limiting shit to like 8 seconds and 15 seconds and all that goofy shit, right? So that the most ridiculous moment for the Game Awards, in my view. As a gamer, it was really sad what happened last year. So we had a game called Black Myth Wukong that sold its ass off, you know, just, I mean, it couldn't just stop selling. Major hit in China, right? Which we know that China's the #1 market in gaming. We're #2. Came out of nowhere, man, and made this big, glorious game. The Monkey King, read it up. Big folklore, Chinese folklore character, right? And it sold its ass off. Game on PC, huge game on PC. It went from PC to PlayStation. PlayStation, the game did okay. It did okay. It put up pretty decent numbers. 3.54 million on PlayStation 5. So no knock there, but when a game sells over 20 million copies, I mean, it's evident what game is supposed to win the Gotti, right? We know this. So the Game Awards comes around and Astrobot wins. Game barely sold 1.5 million, but it wins the Gotti. They did. They snubbed. That's the year of that's the year 30 below of The Last of Us 2. They snubbed Hogwarts Legacy. They snubbed it. So we've seen these activities. And when that situation happened, and the developers from Black Man Wukong had something to say about the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley lost a lot. Man, it was not the Game Awards were becoming more and more of a joke. So I guess he had time to listen to stuff, get that criticism. He's been had to make some changes, man. He's had to make some changes. He's had to realize that Game Awards now, people are seeing it. They're not quiet about when they see that dumb shit that goes on. They speak out against it. And that's the worst thing you want to happen for your business, when people start speaking out and it's really factual things that they're saying about what's going on, right? You don't want that to fester. So he's gonna have to make some adjustments. We knew when Ghost of Yote came out on October the 2nd, there's no roadmap nowhere, right? We've been saying that shit for 3 years. I told you. Yeah, see, look, even Nene can go on the 2021 with Psychonauts. That was the best game of that year. That's right. That was the best game that year. No lie. So we as is we've seen the snub happen over and over and over again, right? But Xbox has never been nominated 19 times for anything, right? And so you have this thing called Game Pass, right? And we've been telling people that Game Pass is a wrench in PlayStation's matrix. I mean, you just throw the wrench all in that, and they just can't compete with the service. They can't compete with the service. Forget Xbox as a console. Xbox is king of the service. There's nothing out here messing with Game Pass. What the quality and the value that you get with Game Pass is gold tier. It's the gold tier service. Period. As you saw last night, PlayStation cannot mess with Game Pass. Now, watch this, y'all. Because I've been waiting for a situation to prove my fact for a long time, and it finally happened. So now that console sales stays in their mouths, right? Now you got to explain something, in which they don't, which they hurting about this. So you have about 83 million consoles shipped out into the market, about 69 million sold to customer, and you got about 11 to 12 million out there to buy, right? And donkey scream console sales left and right, as if the next bakery bread store just came out with a new hit loaf of bread and you just got to go buy it. The console sales now are showing them, if it hasn't shown them before, that it don't mean shit. Your console sales don't mean anything. Now you're right where I want you. You got all those console sales, and not one thing anybody cared about when it came to PlayStation. Because there's nothing that PlayStation puts out right now that anybody cares about. Told everybody, the world doesn't even play PlayStation games. The world doesn't. Every time they do the world chart, look at the games. And PlayStation fans, you just can't be this dumb. I know you want to defend your preferred brand, and I know you want to talk about how popular it is. But when it comes to gaming, the way you feel about PlayStation is irrelevant. Because the hypocrisy that you claim that you play them exclusives when we know you don't makes things more funnier. You are just like everybody else who plays these engagement games. This is why PlayStation has no games with no certified legs on it, has no long-time certified multiplayer shooters on it, period. PlayStation right now is in the business of trying to find a live service game that's going to be a hit. Nobody's confused about that. Now you can no longer hide around your console sales because they're not making any sense. If Sony was this badass platform like you say it is, Why come it didn't win one award at the Game Awards? Why? What happened? We already knew you was down to one AAA game a year. We already knew that. But there's something deeper, because even the gamers who vote in, right, did not even vote for PlayStation. Nobody cares about PlayStation games. The reality is people want value, and the PlayStation brand brings no value to the true gamer. It brings no value. The people who are buying the console right now are just there. The console sale is there to soften their blow. It's all it's about. The PlayStation fans, like I told you a long time ago, they made a pact with each other that in order to keep the perception going, let's just buy the console, whether we like it or not. Look, y'all. Watch this, Rain. Come out here and say we're multi-console owners. We're not missing anything. We got PlayStation, Xbox. But you don't barely, if you're not playing the Xbox, we don't care about that. We don't care that you bought it. We don't care that you bought it. You bought it and it's sitting over there just so you can say you bought it. And the whole thing is, I know I'm not going to play this damn console that I buy, that a lot of people say I just buy the exclusives and shit. And but we just got to do one thing. We got to make it seem like it's just hotcakes in the world. So all the donkeys in the world were unified on, no matter what happens, no matter how stupid this console looks, how dumb it works, and how many variations Sony makes, no matter how many times Sony shafts us up our asses, buy the console so that the perception is these gamers are buying the PlayStation console. But how long do you think that was going to work? Donkeys, how long did you think that was going to work? Your time has ran out. And it's clear now, because the Game Awards showed the whole world that your time is up. The industry is moving from PlayStation. I told you that, hey, listen, man, super great companies last about 25 to 30 years. Sony has had its hurrah. That's it. Only a delusional donkey would think that Sony can be the #1 name in gaming for 40 more years, 30 more years, 5 more years, 10 more years, 5 more years, 1 more year. Because I told you, the beginning of Xbox did not start in the year 2000. The beginning of Xbox starts on the 25th anniversary year. I told y'all that. This is Microsoft's turn to take over, not Nintendo. Nintendo had its time from 1985 to 2000. That was a 25-year run. PlayStation had a 30-year run, 1996 up to now. That's about as good as it's going to get. Now it's Xbox time. That's why I told you, moving forward, PlayStation isn't going to own the power narrative. It's not going to own the game narrative. I told you this before, years back. See, one thing on Di-RRec Gaming, I don't do the goofy stuff, bro. We're not here for the goofy stuff. I told y'all that. I came here to do one thing, and that's to tell these donkeys the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, even when they in their feelings. So help me gaming. They can hate me all they want to, but one thing they're going to know about the new legal, I told them the truth, and I didn't hate. I was just mad that they rather reject the truth for the lies that they're told every day. I tried to warn them, enjoy your reign. Enjoy your reign, but your reign is coming to an end. You think that Sony can thrive in big tech era when it's not even a big tech company? You can't be this stupid. It's not going to happen. I'm sitting here right now using my raw Xbox Ally X to do this show because it's that badass. I can get right off of it, go back to game and record, throw some clips on my YouTube channel, and keep it moving. I don't even need I don't need a desktop. I'm mobile. That's the future, man. Do all your stuff on the go. Nobody gonna sit in a damn desktop. I'm not doing that. That's over. Those days is gone. If I come in right now, and I don't even want to talk about Xbox, you know I'm good on my LG C2. On my LG C2, I could cut my LG TV on right now and just start playing my Xbox right there. I don't need to turn on my console. But guess what I can't do? Guess what I can't do with my Xbox? I can't pull up a Steam library. I can't get Steam achievements on my Xbox. I can't get this whole unified storefront on my Xbox right now. And you know what? My Series X isn't a high-end PC experience. Don't tell us they're dumb, bro. Donkeys are super dumb. And they're dumb by choice because they got too many feelings inside. You can't talk to them with rational mindsets because they're
Their
too
brand
involved with
loyalty
emotion.
blinds them, famo.
Yeah, their brand. Exactly. We over here, there's a reason, people, why Xbox fans are Xbox fans. And it's damn, like I keep telling them, it damn sure isn't because it's the most popular console. We don't care if that damn, look, man, you're talking about $163 billion company compared to a $3 trillion company. Microsoft can wipe Sony off the face of the earth if it wanted to. There's no real competition here. You're the one at the bottom. Microsoft, Sony's not hurting Microsoft. Microsoft already told you what his real competition is. It's time.
They never mention Sony as competition. They always talk about Google and Apple. That's their competition.
Because Sony is a customer to Microsoft, right? PlayFab, like we did the show, PlayFab and all that. So up in there and put it out. They're a customer. They come up to that store and they buy some games out of that bad boy. But you can't possibly think a $163 million worth company can put a dent into a $3 trillion company. You saw what happened with the ABK deal. Sony couldn't even afford that. For one, they couldn't even afford it. That would have broke their pockets severely. They couldn't even afford it. So like Matt Booty said a long time ago, you know, let's just outspend Sony. Look, you got to understand something, man. Microsoft has a goal, and that's to make sure billions get a hand on Windows, Xbox gaming. They're not into your feelings. They're really about that goal. They're not into your feelings on how you feel about Microsoft advancing with Xbox and Windows 11 or Windows 12 or any other updated variation of Windows in the future that may come. But you're not going to get rid of Xbox. I told you. Xbox will be the last thing standing when it comes to gaming. It's going to be the last thing standing. The Switch 2 is not selling like it's supposed to right now. It's a letdown. They're already complaining about Metroid. They're already complaining about it. Nobody cares. You can try your best to try to come up with all your excuses for Nintendo. Nobody cares, bro. There's a new breed of gamers who want value in their purchase. Now, what do you think's going to happen when that next Xbox come out and you have everything at your disposal? You won't need anything else, and you're high-end. You're not even going to go out and buy no high-end PC. This thing's going to be cheaper than that. You don't need to go buy no $2,500 graphics card, goofy-ass shit, just to play a damn game in 4K. That's all it does. The 5090 playing a game at 4K, whoop-de-doo. You're not at 12K. You spent all that money. You're not playing those games at 12K. Who cares? Who cares? Nobody cares. But guess what? That next Xbox is going to kick your PC's ass when it comes out. It's going to kick your PC's ass when it comes out because we know you're not buying a new PC. PC gamers don't do that. They get a top-notch PC high-end and they hold it for about 10 years. That's what y'all do. Some of y'all, the majority of people, see, no whatsoever. You can't, most of these PC gamers can't even afford to be top dogs. They can't. So PC poses no threat moving forward. Absolutely no threat at all. But what PC does provide is hostile takeover. Oh yeah, that open platform, hostile takeover. For example, look what ASUS just did with Windows 11. Look what Lenovo's going to be doing with Windows 11. Right? Look what Logitech just did with Windows 11. Nobody in their right mind when it comes to tech is going to run away from Microsoft. You just can't be this dumb. You can't be this dumb. Nobody is running away from the Microsoft's ecosystem. Nobody's running away. You want the top of the line, most versatile cloud in the world, you're going to go with Azure. It's versatile. We will be able to merge our experience unlike nobody else. Everybody else is going to have straight up hardware to do it. Microsoft's going to already have those platforms on its platform. And you want to know what's funny? Those platforms want to be on Xbox platform. But if Xbox is dead and Xbox is trash, why would all these platforms want to be on Xbox? Because it's not. Because here's what donkeys don't want to admit to. When it comes to engagement, comes to console engagement, when it comes to the best service in town, when it comes to content, that's Xbox. The value of Xbox is unmatched right now, and it's only going to get worse. What's up, Mr. Kima? It's only going to get worse. Yo, shout outs to Red. It's only going to get worse. You guys got to realize that going forward, it's all about gaming now. It's all about gaming now. The Game Awards literally showed you that. It's all about gaming now. What sounded weird last year, what sounded weird last year about, oh, you know, these games are going to be coming over. This is the end of Xbox. Gonna do what we're gonna do. What are you talking about? What we're gonna do? Gamers are gonna keep playing video games. That's what they're gonna do. Now the question is, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit here with that VHS mindset and try to on Sony? Some of these dudes are damn near 60 years old, whining over exclusives. They're damn near 60 years old. These donkeys listen to these idiots out here, damn near 60 years old, crying over video games. I mean, that's the state that we're in. You got guys getting dressed up for a damn Game Awards show at their house, dressed up. Grown-ass men, putting on costumes and shit. And it's almost Christmas. They putting on costumes like it's Halloween. You got Marlon out here talking about, I told y'all so. You didn't tell nobody shit, bitch. Shut your dumb ass up out here. Sounding dumb every damn time you do a video. Talking about, I told y'all, you didn't tell nobody nothing. The fuck did you tell somebody? Shit, take your dumb ass L. You take L's every time you do a damn show. Come on, I told y'all. What you tell everybody? You told everybody to ride PlayStation's dick, just like you was doing. You were the first dumbass dude out here 5 years ago talking about the PlayStation 5 is going to be an RDNA 3.0 console. Dumb. And you can't help but to be dumb because you're dumb. You cartoon yourself. They said, we ain't come here to be funny and goofy like y'all. 5 years, bro. Told y'all. All wheels off, engine blown. Look at you. No awards. 19 nominations. No recognition at the Game Awards. Absolutely. And you know you're not safe anywhere else. You lucky. You know what you're praying. You know what donkeys are praying for, man. They are having massive meltdowns right now, Resident and the Mighty Chat Pack, over the fact that we hope. This is what they're praying for. I'm telling you right now. We hope Grand Theft Auto 6 makes it to the Game Awards to stop anything Xbox does. That's how they're thinking right now. Because this is dead to them. They'll go root for a third party, anything but Xbox. That's how weird they are, bro. Xbox triggers them. Some of these dudes break out in hives when you start talking about Xbox. They get allergic and shit. They got to go to the hospital and stuff. These dudes are weirdos. Weirdos. Yo, Jay Rich, 0 and 9, bro. It's 0 and 9, bro. 19. 0 and 19. You can't make this shit up.
How embarrassing.
Right. And they deserve every bit of it. Because they gave him that bullshit. They gave him Jeff Keighley knows all those bullshit years. It was bullshit. They were those games that they won the Gottis. Those Gottis. None of those games were Gottis that year. None of them. Sony got with it. No recognition at all. Like it don't even exist out here. You gonna tell people that you can only do one AAA game a year, bro? You don't deserve shit. The hell out of here. What you talking about? And you got these dummies out here flagging the PS flag. Ain't got no flex nowhere. So now look at you. As we move forward, DIRREC, you know that ass whooping is coming next month, right? That Xbox Direct show, that Xbox Developer Direct show is about to whoop that ass. You thought you was crying over the Game Awards. Wait till this Xbox Direct show hit, Developer Direct show hit. And from what I've heard, oh man, some real nice entrees. Bad boy. Even Xbox fans are gonna be wild about. On top of it being the 25th anniversary of Xbox, everywhere you look, all you're going to see is the word Xbox. It's going to be a sad year for donkeys. A sad year for just typical PlayStation fans, but a sad year for donkeys. Because deep down, they want to see Xbox just die. But what they don't understand is, if Xbox dies, PlayStation has no games. Xbox makes PlayStation look like it has games. That's it. You can't get rid of Xbox. Xbox out here is providing games to platforms, not the other way around. Sony's still sitting up here with perception on their mind. They still trying to make you think that they got it all together. They ain't got shit together. And after that $7.9 billion lawsuit, good luck. You heard it here on DIRREC Gaming. I'm not playing with y'all, man. $7.9 billion is going to rock that boat. It's going to sink that ship. I'm just letting you know right now, $7.9 billion is about to sink. You listen, look, I'm going to put it like this. You thought Call of Duty hurt their asses. You thought they were going to find some kind of major 30% to just help them clog up all their holes. You wait till they lose that damn lawsuit that's equivalent to $7.9 billion. And you're going to tell me, you're going to have to come out here and tell me just how they're going to afford making any games. That shit happens next year. During the 25th anniversary of Xbox. You can't make this shit up. You can't. You can't make this up. And all donkeys are going to do is witness Xbox glory moving forward. Nothing's stopping Xbox. Nothing. Nothing. We're getting new tech and try to flex and act like FSR is not a big deal. Y'all some stupid ass idiots, man. What's wrong with y'all out here? Who y'all think y'all talking to? It's not a big deal. It's been out, is it? PlayStation don't have it. It's a big deal.
Plus,
Don't care about,
they gotta look
don't care
at
about
it
the
as
video.
like FSR. Normal FSR is like Saiyan mode. This new FSR Redstone
Speak on it.
is like Super Saiyan.
Speak on
We're
it.
talking. This is the evolved form of FSR 4. Not only that, there's other parts of it we're going to talk about right now that was just announced. You see, Microsoft, they have a special partnership with AMD. They've been partners with them for a long time, but this project is years in the making. This is something that they've been working towards, something that to fully get your complete immersion, your full experience, the Xbox full experience that they always talk about. You need to have your games running super smooth with good frame rate, good resolution, and make it to where your gamer, your fellow consumer of games is going to have as much immersion, if not full immersion, with any game you play. You know, it's not going to break your experience. And this new FSR technology is it. This is going to be what they're going to be implementing in the next Xbox. But for now, they're starting with the Radeon 9000 series cards. So they're just starting to roll it out now. And the first game that you can actually experience this on is Call of Duty Black Ops 7. That's the big one that, of course, if you want to display or showcase any game with that kind of new video tech, you definitely want to do it with Call of Duty. And this is going to be rolling out to the next Xbox console, which is going to be a really big deal. We can go over some of the highlights here. Part of this is FSR frame generation. What it does is it predicts and inserts new frames between rendered ones, delivering smoother and higher frame rate gaming, which is what I was just talking about. Now, the next part is also exciting. It's the FSR ray generation, where they're going to make the ray tracing better quality and smoother than anything we've ever experienced before, because a lot of this new FSR tech, this is going to be built in to the hardware level, incorporated at the hardware level, meaning it's not using all those resources, or it's not using the amount of resources that most other modern video technology like DLSS and others are using currently. They're taking on additional workloads to achieve the same goal. This tech is going to be embedded to where it's using the least amount of resources, which means that it could push even faster and better than it ever has before. This is definitely next level. This is what I was talking about with like Super Saiyan form. Another big asset of this new Redstone is the radiance caching. What it does is it dynamically learns, so it's advanced machine learning, and it predicts how light propagates through a scene, delivering efficient real-time global illumination. So not only is it handling the rendering, the performance, but also the ray tracing and the lighting. So it's a very advanced machine learning algorithms built together on the hardware level that's really going to change gaming. And that's what really gets me excited about Redstone, is it's that next level experience that we've always wanted, that even developers have struggled with, you know, because they have finite resources, right? The hardware has limitations. So where do you look at when you run into limitations with the hardware? You look at the software, right? You look at AI, right? AI to enhance the software. And that's the direction it's going right now. So with this new video tech, cooperating with the AI, the CPU, Microsoft's well-engineered hardware, this next Xbox is going to be crazy. And I just need you guys to think about it for a second, because this new generation is going to be like the step up that we've been waiting for. What I'm talking about. When we grew up, right? We started off with Atari, right? Then we jumped up to Nintendo. We saw a different big jump there. Then Nintendo to Super Nintendo, an even bigger jump, right? And then just finally to 3D, right? With a 64, PlayStation 2. This is going to be one of those jumps, and I'm not talking just fidelity. I'm talking like everything, like the environments, the NPCs are going to be more vibrant, more reactive in how they talk to you, and also how their animations, how they do in the scene, like when you're in the game. Like your character, like how he moves. Some of the physics are going to be better, like in how you jump and how you do certain tricks depending on the game. Like the whole broad stroke of it, how it runs too, how it looks. It's going to be able to load bigger environments faster. Everything is going to be, I don't want to say instantaneous, but a lot of the loading, a lot of the latency and input lag, it's going to be very little to none. And that's what the main huge leap is that the Redstone and the AI incorporation, which are going to take gaming to a next level, because we've kind of hit a graphical rooftop right now, where the games can't really get too much better than they are now in terms of fidelity. So now it's all about the seamless experience, the full experience, right? Making everything as high hit that roof on everything else too. So Redstone is definitely that one of those little sneak peeks of what's to come, what the future is, and with Xbox. And they're in a position where Sony doesn't have this. Nintendo doesn't have this. They haven't been building this partnership for years. They haven't been developing and testing this technology for as long as they have. They've got a unique advantage with AMD. I mean, I know Sony's also got a partnership with AMD, but not to the extent of Microsoft. And Microsoft has unique tools and AI that I think is going to make them a step above. And we're already seeing that with the Ally X, just a little peek of that. The next Xbox console is going to be very, very similar, but even better, because they're going to take those mistakes from the Ally and from the Series X and incorporate that into it. And that brings me to another part of this. I know we mentioned during the beginning of the show we were going to talk about Windows 11 on top of Redstone. Well, as you know, I don't know how much you guys pay attention to the interviews, but Phil Spencer has talked about this. I believe Sarah or Matt have talked about this too in interviews, and also from Jason Ronald. But they want to make Windows 11 the best gaming experience possible, full screen experience with very little processors and tasks and services running in the background. How can they build the app to run better in that background? How could they incorporate it to almost a seamless experience of what they're trying to achieve? And that's by reducing the amount of tasks that the operating system has, basically restructuring the technology to basically point to the game system, run it as like a game system, but with Windows. So basically try to blend just the functioning parts of the OS for it to perform for the games for Xbox, and less about the other facets of the operating system. So try to customize it in such a way that it runs specifically for Xbox for the game system, just like you're playing a console, but more than that. And I think one of the big things they're trying to do is with some of the functions of the operating system. I have an article I pulled up here that dives into it, and they kind of talk about it into detail here. So one of the quotes they say is, "We're committed to making Windows the best place to play." Microsoft has teased that next year we'll see some significant updates come to Windows 11 that are designed to position the platform as the best place to play video games. In the past year, we've seen the company slowly move to adopt new handheld gaming form factors, and it seems like there's more to come in this space. The company highlights a number of core pillars that it will address in the coming months. And this is kind of what I was pointing towards a minute ago. Background workload management, power and scheduling improvements, graphics stack optimizations, and updated drivers. Improving these elements of the platform should allow Windows to run lighter and assign freed up resources to games to allow them to run better. Microsoft has also confirmed that Auto SR Super Resolution will be coming to handheld gaming PCs next year on the Ally X. Also, what's great about it is Auto SR is an OS level upscaling feature that delivers sharp visuals and smoother frame rates in compatible games without any developer input. They also announced advanced shader delivery to Windows 11, which preloads game shaders during download and allows select games to launch faster while also running smoother. We're going to continue to add ASD support to more games on the Ally and the Ally X, and we've begun early integration work to support additional hardware and storefronts. And I quote. Wow, right? That's huge. Think about that, what I was just talking about. So think about like a Windows 11 Lite version that's specifically designed to run Xbox. And on top of that, all the PC storefronts out there. So you're getting a full online console experience with new AI technology, new FSR technology, built-in shader technology. I mean, holy, my mind is blowing right now, like just thinking about that. And with the hardware resources too that this console is going to have, it's going to be the place to play because it's just undeniable. And I know some people probably won't understand the whole gist of the console, but when they get their hands on it, when they start playing it, like we're talking like, you know, you open up you load your Xbox and it launches within seconds, like less than 5 seconds, I would say. It's probably what's going to happen. That fast. You could launch into a Steam game in less than 30 seconds or 40 seconds, or even less, maybe potentially even less. I'm just throwing a number out there, but we're talking like almost instant loading with how you boot up, how you load a game, even from another storefront. Like it probably won't, we'll see. Like, I hope they get it to that point by then. There might be some improvements that need to be done along the way, but they could get to that place. And like, for people to have that experience that's never been done before, that's going to be something unique on top of, you know, Game Pass as well. Like that's a big enticer for that. But I think people are going to get really blown away by this console, and all these new improvements show that Microsoft is not going anywhere with the console space. They're not. If they weren't, they wouldn't be spending all this time with AMD. They wouldn't be investing in more partnerships, investing in more AI. They would not be building another console if they weren't serious about it. Their focus has just shifted on more than the console. And they've said this before. They hit a wall. They realize they're never going to achieve their vision or their goals if they stayed the same way they've always stayed since the start of when they got into gaming. They can't play the Sony and Nintendo game. It doesn't work for them. You know, they're a software company first anyway, so it makes more sense for them to be available any device as possible with any platform, because you want to extend your outreach as much as possible. And this device is going to be that device that truly changes gaming. It's going to move the needle in my eyes. But that's some of the news I wanted to share with you guys. Just really exciting stuff, because we're on the precipice of something big, and I'm ready for the future, famo. What do you think about that news? That's insane, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm coming with bad news. That's how we do it on DIRREC Games for PlayStation. Bro. All right, here comes the back. Xbox, for the least popular console out here, number 3 console, the one that doesn't sell more than Nintendo and PlayStation. For the next FSR, it's going to be a match made in heaven. So that don't eliminate our popularity. It doesn't matter over here in our world. We're going to get the stuff. And let me show you what it does, right? And I'm talking about now. This thing to start happening in 2026, within the year of the 25th anniversary of the Xbox. So this is still going to be happening with Xbox Series S and S, right? While the PC version, for the open, everybody out there that's got the preferred platform of PC, this for them December the 10th. This just happened. Now, I'm going to get into just how far or just how much AMD has closed the gap. New update, this FSR 4 based FSR 3.5 plus upgrade. How this, all right. So however you did it, right? We all talk about, the video depth. No, the video's been years. They're light years ahead of the competition. They do what they do best, right? So, gotta give some kudos to AMD. They like that month going all out whenever they're gonna do. That's what you're gonna have to compete with NVIDIA. You're just gonna have to go all out. Shout out to my man Sam Chance Gaming. That's another mighty chat member right there. That's another one in the community of the mighty Pat chat. That was, man. So we love Sam
Salute,
Chance.
my brother.
Shout outs to the Wolf Pack out there in the chat. Y'all know how y'all get down, man.
So 30 below, Ray Chi, Talos Ree, welcome.
We got the family in here. And to everybody like my man Ren, who don't come around as much, but when he does, we showcase love around the world, man. Like I said, anybody overseas that makes us international, double salute to y'all. We keep it going, and much love. We do this for you guys. We have fun, man. This is our way of just coming out from a long day's work, kick back, and just have some fun. So check this out, y'all. Check this out. The performance boost with this frames per second from FSR, right? Out of the existing hardware, that's the key word, out of existing hardware. This isn't something that's going to happen with new tech. We're not even talking about the next generation. We're not talking about PlayStation 6 or the next Xbox, right? We're talking about right now. This thing is going to hit the Xbox Series S and X hardware. Now, remind you, I said S. Now, look, here's what to all the Xbox owners like me, myself, I got the S and the X, right? But to all those who did not get an X and who have an S, guess what's going to happen to you? Hit 60 frames per second, 120 frames, or even higher in performance modes. So now, Xbox is fixing to get another power mode, right? Performance mode. That's going to go beyond. So there might be instances where you have, an open cap or a closed cap, but at the least for the Series S. You're going to be able to hit 120. When that happens, that is going to be crow soup for everybody who talks shit about the PlayStation, the Xbox Series S, and said it was holding up the industry. It was holding the Xbox back. There's your crow soup. So I'm letting you know your crow soup is coming. So get prepared. It's gonna have some few dead flies in it too. This thing is gonna have better visuals. Oh, so the S. Oh, you know, it can't do this and it can't do that. That S is really gonna hurt people's feelings. It's gonna demand features like advanced ray tracing on consoles that lack dedicated AI. There we go. We are finally where the legal has been wanting it. We're right where we want it. There isn't going to be much parity left between Xbox and PlayStation. It's going to be certain who's who in the future. And 2026 is going to start separating the two. There's going to be a big gulf. Get ready for those donkey tears complaining about why this game looks like that and why the Xbox looks better. Get ready. That's what this is called. High-end PCs by delivering features like smooth ray tracing that were previously difficult to run. Follow me, because we here to tell the truth, the whole truth, but nothing but the truth. So help us gaming. We ain't here to play games and be silly with y'all. Friendly. See what I previously said? That's that competition spirit of Xbox on the low. So don't get twisted with you because we over here on your platform. don't don't let that fool you. Don't like we say out here in these streets. Don't take that for weakness. Don't take weakness. Now, what else is a purpose for it? Over talking about right now, future. It's going to be developer friendly. Y'all ready for this? Watch this. It gets better. I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna drag this to the close. Don't worry. We're gonna get the AI focused features of the AMD FSR Redstone, which is FSR 4, like frame generation and ray generation, are currently exclusive to the new RDNA 4 PCs. We got that, right? That just dropped. The Radeon RX 9000 series, because they need specific hardware, meaning the standard PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro can't run them. I'm going to say this again. The bad news. We're going to do this again, right? Okay, so coming soon for the Xbox S and X are Redstone coming, and it's coming in a form to where it's going to boost the frame rate from, if your game is running 60, it's going to put it at 120 or above. And now when we say above, we know we're talking about the X, right? But when we say 120, we be talking about the Series X. It's going to come in a way where visuals are going to go up. So let's just say 1440p is max. Frame rate could possibly go even higher. It can be some instances, but if you are for 14, or just completely makes the console 1440p, regardless, right? The image quality. So those be working with this consoles now. Then It's coming. That's going to be now. When we talk about the PlayStation, it says something different. See, because I've always told you that when you're dealing with PlayStation, you're not going to be ahead with tech. Going to be ahead. This is facts. You're not going to be ahead in technology. They might get something that's new currently that other things may not have at the time. But it's not like Sony's ever going to put something out there and big tech companies are going to be dragging behind it. That's not going to be. So let's read about PlayStation one more time. The AI-focused features of AMD FSR Redstone, FSR 4, like frame generation and ray tracing generation, right? Like the things we just saw yesterday and the day before they were putting this out, and you saw it on Twitter X and everything, are currently exclusive right now to the new RDNA 4 PCs, the Radeon RX 9000 series. Because the reason why, exactly, Talos. Let's don't be ignorant out here. Let's don't be stupid as to why we're not just saying this thing can't run on a PlayStation, because let's be for real. The PlayStation engineered structural stability cannot hold this thing. It's just not capable to blow up, just like you said. It won't even run it. It barely can run anything now being overclocked. So let's don't sit there and act like this ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen, right? So you look at this. This thing is not going to be able to run hardware, meaning that the standard PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro RDNA 2 to 3, because we know that, the PlayStation 5 Pro got bumped up a little bit. It can't run them. However, Sony, now here it is. We're gonna see just what Sony's gonna do to take this further. This is where the blockage happens. This is where you're gonna understand why PlayStation ain't gonna be able to match up with Xbox coming in the future. And here's why. However, Sony is working with, hold on, y'all, hold on. Look. However, Sony is working with AMD on a co-developed version of FSR. Y'all ready to hear what this is? This co-developed version, it's a version. I'm gonna say this again. When we went mentally, right? They don't know anything. You gotta resolution. Shout out to my man Realist. When they were talking about resolution, 4 came out, right? And the PlayStation 4 talking it high. Finding out it was very generic, very trashy, dog shitty, right? These are all facts. We are here to talk down the PlayStation, because when it comes to shit, that console, it's never been that console. It's never been. However, Sony is working with AMD on a co-developed version. So that means it ain't even the real deal. It's a version of FSR 4 called, y'all ready? Here we go. The PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution PSSR. Really, Sony? Really? Which is expected to come to the PlayStation 5 Pro in 2026. Can we already lay those coffins out, go start digging up graves? because you really think engineering against Microsoft store engineering, right where we want to be. What's up, Eternal Shout Out? Now we're right where we want to be because it's where most of us Xbox fans, we won't even have to do all the talking anymore. All that do it anymore. It's going to this parody, like I was reading before, it's going to be up to the PlayStation 5 Pro in 2026 and potentially the base PlayStation 5 later. So guess what? Don't be y'all out there that don't have a 5 Pro, you won't even be in the talking points. Why isn't Redstone on the PlayStation 5 yet? It's because of hardware limitations. It didn't say that about the play Xbox. Notice, it didn't say anything about Xbox having limitations. It's the hardware limitations. Redstone's advanced machine learning, just like we said. PlayStation. It lacks that. Redstone's advanced machine learning features need dedicated hardware. Dedicated hardware. Like RDNA 4's AI accelerators, that older RDNA 2 chips in the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro, they lack that. Of course they did, because on Di-RRec Gaming, we told you a long time ago, they were lacking in the dies. Come walk with your boy, realist. Talk with me. I told videos about it. Uncovered dies. When it's missing those dies, that means it's missing key features that will not go forward with the console. Everybody laughed at the new, but today the new legal is laughing at everybody else. PC focus. Wait a minute, what? On is AMD's top tier tech, top GPUs, focusing on features like ML-based frame generation and ray generation for maximum performance and visual quality on PC. So, at the end, what's coming to PlayStation consoles? Here we go. Oh, it's cutting in and out. Sorry, Silver Fox. Appreciate that for letting us know. We can't tell if it is. If I'm cutting out and if I'm cutting in and out, forgive us, because we can't tell over on our end. So what's coming to PlayStation consoles? Co-developed FSR4 Pisser. Sony's collaborated with AMD on FSR4's core algorithm. This is being implemented as an upgrade. Great. Shout out to Other Zinc. This is coming out Pro's native PSSR, with the release slated for 2026, providing a more powerful super resolution solution tailored for the console's hardware. Notice it didn't say anything about frame rate. No real performance. And you know why? Because you push those frame rates even more, you're going to downgrade the visuals, overheat, blow up. So, bad news for PlayStation fans. If you certified next gen and it's going to be glorious and all that, I'm sorry to break the news to you. It's going to be dog. What pisser? Because Sony doesn't want to invest. Sony's, I put it like this. I don't know what it is, but a lot of foreign companies just don't, unless they're American territories, foreign companies. A lot of the Oriental companies that are not aligned with the territories of the United States, they don't invest in Dolby Atmos because Dolby Atmos is an American product. Oh, okay, my voice is going in and out. Okay, sorry about that. They don't invest in American product. So they make up their own stuff. Samsung made up the HDR10. It can't beat Dolby Atmos, but it's done got pretty good. They done did so many variations on it. Same thing with Sony. The Pisser is just a generic version of upscale. It's just a generic version of upscaling. That's all it is. It's their own. So now you know the future was going ahead. You already know that moving forward, even right now with the current generational consoles, moving forward, it's not going to look good for you if you're on the PlayStation side of things. You're going to have a lot of things to complain about. And then you really want to see the next generation. Because they're done. Once Microsoft gets into this PC realm, parity has to stop. And that's the beautiful thing for us Xbox fans. We'll be set free. We won't have to play this little weak console game with parodies and people feeling sorry that one console can't do what the other one can do. Those days are about to be over with. Exactly, Silver Fox. Exactly. Exactly. They got to go the cheap way. Sony is going the cheap way to maximize what they can do with their console. They're not actually investing in top tier level quality anything. Is PS5 Pro? Hold on, is that okay? I'll just put it like this. I'll just say my man Vince, because I don't know what that means. I don't know how to say it. So I'm gonna say Vince, man. What up, Vince? Is the PlayStation 5 Pro upgradable to PSSR? If not, PlayStation 5 Pro is stuck on PSSR that nobody cares. It's going to be upgradable to the update that's going to happen for it. Only the PlayStation 5 Pro will get it first, just because it's a little bit more powerful. That's the only reason. That's why it's not going to get the frame rate performance. It's only going to get the visual performance. So now it's like the games will totally always look better when this happens on the PlayStation 5 Pro, right? But the PlayStation, the vanilla PlayStation, when they finally do that, because it doesn't seem like they're even interested in it, but when they finally do that, it'll get some visuals too, probably some frame rate. I don't even know about the frame rates, man, because the PlayStation 5 is poorly optimized when it comes to that frame rate. Now, visuals, they can play all day with the visual game. But when you're talking about performance and you need to go up on those frame rates, that's where PlayStation starts to lose out because it's already overclocked. It's already running high. But good question, though. Good question. From what I was reading, the PlayStation 5 Pro will be the only one that's upgradable straight to the PlayStation, straight to the PSSR upgrade with the AMD co-engineering aspect of it first, which makes sense, right? But here's the downside of it. I don't think anybody's willing to pay for the PlayStation 5 Pro now when all they got to do is get the next generation console, get the PlayStation 6. That's what makes sense to me. But I mean, if people just want to do it for the hell of it, and they never had a PlayStation, which I don't understand why they wouldn't have had. But if they just really just want to have one so bad and they get rid of their vanilla PlayStation and get the Pro, I understand that, get it, and they got something advanced. But Xbox consoles are going to be advanced like nothing before. The upgrade difference in those consoles are going to be remarkable. And you're going to know moving forward that it's not going to be a joke with Xbox. And I think that's exactly how Xbox has to approach moving forward is that it's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter over here. And let me tell y'all something. You do not want to get on Microsoft's bad side of anything when they're trying to compete or when they're trying to. That's their area. That's their area of expertise, and they don't play with it. And I think Sony knows better now. I think Sony's just going to ride this train out. They know that they're not going to be able to get on Xbox level anymore when it comes to performance, visuals, and quality. They're valid on. PlayStation can't compete there no more. That's gone. So console sales don't match up to what people really are doing out here. Console sales in this era does not dictate the metric success of consoles. Console sales do not tell the complete story. And once again, we found that out at the Game Awards. Wrestling Gamer, you got anything else to say, man?
Not about that. No, I think you covered it pretty well, my friend. I think we should talk about the DIRREC though a little bit before we go.
Go ahead, man. It's your show tonight, brother. I'm having
fun.
Let's go.
We got some even more news this week. This is a big week for gaming news. We got hit with quite a few bangers. This one especially caught my eye, got me even more excited. But there was that same, I think it was Vanity Fair interviewed an executive at Xbox, and they confirmed that they have a lot of exciting things, games to show this year, that they won't be able to fit all of it into a single show. Think about that. That's big. And what they're talking about, they're not just talking about the Dev Direct. They're talking about the summer showcase too. So they're basically hinting at that they're going to have multiple shows next year because they just have so many games coming out. This is going to be the biggest year, in my opinion. I think this is going to be the biggest year Xbox has ever had in its history of being in the console industry. On multiple ways, multiple things. First off, the amount of first-party games they're going to have next year is going to trump any other year that they've had. And I think it will trump most Sony years and Nintendo years even. I think they're going to have a first-party game almost every month next year, which they've never done before. They're going to bring back older classic titles, so stuff from their old legacy or potentially even older titles. Maybe we're going to see some more Activision titles because Jason Ronald had hinted at it in another interview they did. I think it was the Forbes interview. They interviewed Jason Ronald. He mentioned that they had a lot of surprises in store for the anniversary next year. So we're going to be getting hit on many fronts. We're going to be getting that new FSR technology next year. It's going to be a big year, and it's going to start off with the Dev Direct. And that same executive from that Vanity Fair interview also stated that we will see Playground games there at the show. Now, what I'm wondering is, he didn't specify the game. He just said Playground games. So my thought is it going to be a double whammy? And what I mean by that is Playground going to be the first ones in history of Developer Direct where they have two big games in a show? Actually, no, I think Obsidian might have already beat him there because they had Outer Worlds, but they didn't do it the same show. This is two big hitters in the same show. We're talking Fable and Forza Horizon 6. And this is a big Forza Horizon because this is a setting that people have been wanting since the beginning of the series, and that is Tokyo, Japan. So they're going to come heavy hitting, I think, with not only Fable, not only Forza, but we're also, I think E-Day is going to be the other big game we see at the Direct as far as the big three. Now, another way I could see this going is at the Dev Direct, they have Fable, Clockwork Revolution, Forza Horizon 6, Gears of War E-Day, or at least in a combination of that, and then the rest will be at the following showcase. Now, that's not including the little surprises that they'll probably always have, like third party and double A, like they did this year and last year. And we'll probably get another shadow drop as well this year. Like we got the Oblivion remastered, which was a huge shadow drop. A lot of people bought that game. A lot of people wanted that game remastered, so they could do something like that again this upcoming year. So very exciting to look forward to. I also think that this next year, on top of the software side of it, we're going to see the hardware side of it, and that's that next gen Xbox that we've been talking about for like the last year or two now, or longer for some. On previous podcasts, I was been talking about this a lot too, but they're definitely, I think, going to drop the news or a tease for the next console as well, because a lot of reports that I've been seeing on social media is that Xbox is going to drop their next console in 2027. So it only makes sense for them to drop the news next year. And so that right there, you're talking about a triple whammy. And to add it, to make it a quadruple whammy, just think about Game Pass too. Game Pass is going to bring more games this next year than last year than this year and last year. It's going to bring those legacy back compat titles.
Something real quick. Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you just said something that's very dangerous about this, Rez. And I just thought about this. The Mighty Chat Pack, think about this. To what Resident Gaming was just saying. As the years go by, right? Games become better. Games look better. Games play better, right? It's all better. How do you think the value is going to go up when games hit it and they're about that? And these future are going to be better. They're going to be better running, better looking, all of that. And we get them for day one. Right out the gate, it's already on your Xbox. You're an Xbox owner, Xbox fan. You will have these games day one. Everybody else is going to have to pay full price for these games. When you think about that, and you think about our country screwed up, when you think about their jobs and everything, and they want a game, they want a situation to where gaming is not a burden for them. This is easy. And as you put these games, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now, it ain't so much of the first party games, because that's a given. It's Game Pass. Of course it should have Xbox games on it. But the decisive determining factor is going to be when major third party games hit Game Pass. When that starts happening, I'm gonna say, man, look, you might as well just start getting used to Xbox being the preferred platform. And I'm not just talking about as a popularity contest. I'm talking about because the Xbox has, they're just not nowhere else. They're exclusive to the Xbox. And when you have the Xbox, right? And it's a beautiful thing. It's not so, and that's exactly where we're headed to. We're headed to a war of capability. So whatever value that incentive, because they're going to ask. every damn time Xbox comes out, it gets knocked by what it can do. They did a good job this generation coming out, trying to push forth what they had done with the Xbox. The design was great, knowledge was great, but the lack of strong gaming library for it to come out was its downside. We did not have Halo, we just didn't have Halo Infinite, and that was like the biggest, dumbest thing that I'm going in and out again. Bear with me, Silver Foxes. I don't know. Thank you. But to not have, Halo Infinite launch was a big mishap. It was terrible. Moving forward, right? Once again, you just can't keep messing up as much. Stupid,
All of
accidental
a sudden,
moment.
$30 doesn't sound too bad, huh?
Right. And Microsoft, with everything that's being put together, all the sudden changes that they've had to do, it's going to be scary just how big they execute for this next console, y'all. I don't expect no issues. I expect everything to come out on time, everything to be, it's going to be a slaughter. I mean, it's going to be a slaughter, and it's going to be tough, because I think for the first time Microsoft gets it. People are not leaving their preferred platform, and that's fine with them. But what they're going to do, they're going to make sure that you're going to always have an opportunity to play Xbox no matter what platform you are. And I think they got it. They especially got it with Steam. I mean, Steam's locked down on Xbox. That's Windows 11. That's just Windows, period. That's Windows operating system. That's period. There's no Windows system, period. We got Epic. We got the biggest, most popular game in the world, Fortnite. We got the partnership with that. I mean, think about it. Moving forward, think about it. You think those deals for Fortnite are going to stay? No, they're going to get better. Think about it. We got GeForce Now on Xbox. Think about it. I mean, we got Ubisoft Premium. We got Ubisoft Plus. We got all the stuff. Think about it. You don't have to buy top dollar for any of this stuff. Ubisoft got a game you want, go and pay your $17.99. Play the game for a month. You focus on it, you beat it. You beat it within a month. Discontinue your service and move on. It costs you $17.99 plus tax. It's incredible. You know what you can't do over there on PlayStation? What I just sold you. There's nothing. There's no high tier of nothing. Nothing. There's no incentive. The only thing that you can be over there is a fan. Other than that, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. Exactly, Jago. We got EA Play, Ubisoft, Steam, GOG, Boostroid. I forgot about Boostroid. That's right. All of those bad boys. All of them. And then we got the browsers, which just made Xbox powerful, right? Windows Edge, Microsoft Edge, I mean. We got Bing. We got our work, we got our internet. We got our web browsers. And that transfers over right now. But just imagine when that. Everything's going to be right there in your disposal. So whatever game you have is just in your library. The way we do now, it's not going to matter if it's Steam. It's not going to matter if it's an Epic game. It's going to be there. It's going to just be there.
Everything all in the one place, right? On the
Everything
fastest hardware, best technology, man, best service. Everything is top quality.
And Resident Gamer Zero, check this out. This is gonna be value right here, right? Because on DIRREC Gaming, we're gonna talk about the value of Xbox moving forward. of. Look, man, look. As long as Nintendo's been out, right? I've always said this. I don't understand, and this is why I've stopped playing games with Nintendo. I stopped playing games with them, and it hurt because Nintendo is the last thing I got to my Sega heritage, right? It's Nintendo and Sega for me, but Nintendo's the last thing. But what I don't understand about Nintendo, and I still can't get it, is right. You should be extended library content. You should have been investing on your whole entire library plethora and just put it out there. They've done it with Game Boy, right? So you got Game Boy games. Instead of trying to nickel your fan base, put the library out there. Let them go. It's like candy in a grocery store, man. Let them go around here and just go and look at these games and go buy them. As big as your library is, Nintendo, just do it. It ain't gonna hurt you. Just do it. Make some money. Because I'm telling you right now, right? PlayStation can't do this. They can't do this. So we know this, right? PlayStation's backwards compatibility service has been trash from day one. Just utterly trash. They just can't get it together. So even with this next up and coming PlayStation 6, they're already talking about just going back from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. That's it. I mean, you're going to have to get into your PlayStation network to get into the service of the PlayStation Now to PlayStation Plus, right? And then you're going to have to get your PlayStation games from there. my man, straight up. That's not, bro, that is dumb. I mean, when you think about it, records, it's dumb. It's just dumb. And I'm telling you right now, right? When Sarah Bond and her team unleash this backwards compatibility from all generations, right? From the OG all the way up, right? It's going to be a sight to see. Because nobody can beat Microsoft when it comes to that. And for all my Xbox comrades out here, right, that have been invested into Xbox, your investment is going to finally be rewarded to you. You think about it. Those games are going to be at your disposal. And because they're automatically going to be there, right? They're going to automatically library, right? But these games, these back-to-back games at your disposal, it's just going to be legendary. And as these games go on towards the future, get better. No hassle at all. That's called, what is it? What is it for me? See, as a customer, what do I get out of it? Oh, you get this. Damn, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Vat Records, oh man, wait, what? You know? That's what's gonna happen. But Microsoft has to get it out here so people can start talking. And when they start talking, everything you're saying, Records, facts. I'm with you. Everything, bro. It's true. From the rest mode feature to everything, it's trash. You know, you have to be play that off. You just got to be a fan. And you hide behind the console sale, but you can't hide no more. The console sale fails you. When we tried to tell y'all, stop talking about it. Sony tried to tell y'all, stop talking about it. We don't even go off of that no more. But you. So what's going to happen, everybody? The donkeys are going to give me my validated day. They have no choice but to sit there and watch that car just blow up while they're in it. The C4 have been placed underneath it. They can't go nowhere. Engines blown, all the wheels are rolled off. Now it's just time to detonate the C4. That's it. And they're too dumb, so they're going to detonate with it. They're going to go bye-bye because they don't have enough sense to understand what real gaming is all about. They don't even know gaming because they never had it. They're like abused wives. They're over here flexing for PlayStation, and PlayStation just keeps beating them up every night, slapping them in their face because they ain't got their dinner plate fixed for them, and they don't know what else to do. And they take it out on Xbox fans, and Xbox fans ain't got nothing to do with it. We're over here just laughing every day. We know how to put up something and just make them cry. They're battered. They're battered fans. It's weird. You got to see this shit. You can't make this up. It is. It's a ticking time bomb, bro. And they get in these damn spaces. And what's so funny is when they get in these spaces, you listen to them lie to each other. It's the most funniest shit you ever want to see. They start lying to each other. They start saying dumb shit that don't make no sense. And it only makes sense to them. It only makes sense to them in their mind. But to the real gamer, it makes no sense. You know, it would be embarrassing to be caught out in real time talking the way they talk about video games. It don't make sense. You know, we still got Skyrim on the way. Think about that. If Skyrim's going to be on Game Pass, you don't understand it. This is going to happen. Skyrim on Game Pass. Day one. You see what I was here, right? I was here to be that nuisance, right? I was here to be that nuisance. But watch this. For everybody who thought Game Pass wasn't impactful, go watch the Game Awards. And that game called Clear Obscure Expedition 33 is the biggest Game Pass game that ever existed. The best looking Game Pass game that ever existed. And it won Gotti. With the help of Xbox, giving it exposure, giving it more exposure than they could ever do it. When you think about South of Midnight, when you think about the heritage of the South and the story, the folklore of the South of Louisiana swamp life, you know, you really had to go down in there. Those developers went down in that area and really had to sit down. That's what you got to do in the South. You got to go sit down on a porch and you just got to go listen to people. And man, they painted a picture that has never been painted before about the Black culture of Louisiana swamp life. And for that game to win Impactful Award says it all. Says it all. An Xbox game impacted. It don't have to sell consoles to impact. You sound dumb out here. That third place console winning awards left and right. Because Xbox ain't contained to just a console. That's where you find comfort in as a PlayStation fan. You know that that's your sanctuary. Because if you talk about going out, expanding, you know PlayStation can't compete with Xbox there. So that's why you try to keep us in your talking points. Nah, homie, we ain't in your talking points. We know what Xbox is doing. We ain't mad at it because we know your hate and hypocrisy is laughable. You're over there buying Call of Duty. You're over there buying those Xbox games when they're laughing at you because you have nothing else to play. And we know that. We know that. That's right, Silver Fox. These donkeys are platform oppressors, bro. Damn. You can't get no better than that. They're oppressed, too. They're oppressed gamers. You're right. Oppressed gamers. Can't make this shit up. And they want everybody. The only problem is PlayStation isn't good at being oppressed like Nintendo does they fans. It's got to be better. And you suck at that. Microsoft said here. Just go wherever you want to go. As long as you buying our games, playing our games, it's all that matters. That's what it should matter. The games are the hustle. The games should be out there. You get to pick and choose where you want to play your game. That's a gamer mentality. That's a gamer mentality. And guess what? It's working. When I sat there at that last night with Realist and Resident Gamer, we was watching the game was before Realist went to sleep. When me and Resident's been laughing at him, but he only knows that because I said it now. But when I saw Jeff Keighley about to cry, the man was on stage on his show, literally about to cry over video games. And y'all know my rule, bro. There's no crying in video games, bro. We just video games. But let me tell you something. I say that in a standpoint of a gamer that's just here at the house, right? I'm saying it's home and just plays my video games, right? I'm not saying that just involved in this industry, right? Who are just putting their whole art efforts into things, right? And you meet them and you talk to them and you form relationships with them and things like that, right? When I saw that man get teary-eyed, that told me that Jeff Keighley, one, has realized the error of his ways. He realized how beautiful it is to understand just how great gaming really is when it's exposed to its greatest lengths. No man gets up there, man, and has tears in their eyes for no reason. Men don't do that. You got to get to the core of a man to get him like that. And he was hit to the core. He saw that, damn, man, you know, my preferred platform, PlayStation, may not be getting all this recognition, but these are some beautiful people out here that's making the gaming industry. Support. See, if I had this big talk, I done went 3 years of being knocked around. If we've had this big talk, everybody a little bit, you know. And look, all of my show, they still coming to support me. I'm gonna support unity culture as I can. Keighley on this Game Award show. I have to give it to him. And it's not about because PlayStation didn't get no awards, but PlayStation didn't deserve none. That's the point. It didn't deserve an award. Sony didn't do nothing. And the Game Awards reflected that. That's all any real gamer has been saying the whole time. Reflect what happens in the year. Reflect it. Look at the impacts. Look at where the gamers are at. Don't just cheat. Don't just feel like you got to cheat for your platform because you already know the end result. Jeff Keighley knows the end result for PlayStation. He knows moving forward, PlayStation can't compete with Xbox. Anybody with a mind knows that. But just know that bootleg version. So that's what you're gonna go with. Now, hey, you're not stuck. That's dumb. When you know there's a better product out here, and that's what Phil Spencer is betting on. He said it. I'm betting on to the next Xbox. I'm not betting on. I'm not saying an outsell PlayStation in the world. We're not gonna say that we're gonna go out here and steal gamers off a PlayStation platform. That's not their MO. Vince says Xbox does not need to worry about selling more consoles just so they can sell more first-party games. Facts. They don't need to sell consoles at a loss or release a mid-gen console. Facts. Unlike PlayStation.
Yes, sir.
The problem is, Vince, PlayStation fans have a time with that because they know, as demonstrated, look at the PlayStation 5 Pro. It's dumb shit. right? So PlayStation fans know deep down that Sony's not good at that. They're just not good at it. Microsoft engineered console, it don't need to be mid. It don't. There's no mid cycle for it. The only good to add to that is more. We have a two uh to make 2 terabytes for the Seagate. And terabytes if you wanted it. That's the best thing you could do for Xbox because it was already made beautifully. It didn't need no it didn't need a mid-gen cycle gimmick. It didn't need it. This thing is getting FSR 4. Where's the gimmicks at? Well, it doesn't need it. The PlayStation 5 Pro won't even get this, man. You know, they're gonna have to update, give it through an update generic version through the PlayStation, the PSSR. That's how they're gonna have to get it. They can't get the full thing. They can't get the real thing, man. I'm not making this up. I mean, this is for real. You know what I'm saying? And your time is up. Accept it. We're not here to war. Xbox fans are not war with PlayStation fans, man. That's a PlayStation delusional mindset, false reality. You think I care that PlayStation people keep buying a PlayStation console? I don't care if it sells 90 million consoles. I'm not buying one. Because I on it that they're playing that I can play on my Xbox. That's Call of Duty. You need a PlayStation to play Call of Duty. PlayStation to play theirs. They show the world that. Don't buy their games. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. So there's no reason for me to buy a PlayStation. But there's a damn reason why I buy the Xbox. The reason why I buy that Xbox is because it's engineered right. They got a built-in community in that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, G. Expedition 33 is a banger.
It is. It's a banger, bro. Scared them. They didn't want that because they know deep down who Expedition 33 is linked to. They know. That's why they're mad. They know who it's linked to. Sony's legacy is money. Addict Games standing there stubborn for first. I mean, what does it say?
Money Hatted Games standing as substitutes for first party.
Yeah, there it is. Substitute.
Facts.
That's right. I got Hebot in the building, the most powerful gamer in the universe. Shouts to Hebot. What's up, old friend? The Game Awards are a joke. The real game of the year should have been Split Fiction and South of Midnight. I wouldn't disagree with South of Midnight, but I'm not mad at Obscure. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I know why Hebot said Split Fiction, because if you know him, he loves co-op. South of Midnight deserved every bit of recognition that it got. I won't debate that at all. Beautiful game. It reminds me, the impact of that game reminds me of Psychonauts 2. It reminded me of that. It is well drawn, beautiful animation, original. You know, and he about to be honest, it was good to see people recognize that. For once. We had 2 games that were different that got the attention for once. And they both deserved it, right? For once. And there's nothing left for them. You go 0 and 19. Our day is almost here, bro, for Xbox. And I know me and we used to talk about the Sega days. And I'm telling you, if you wasn't a Sega, you missed it. You don't know what it is to be on the side in the game industries where you're not rooted for, but you can feel your community. See, the thing, the Sega just didn't have a club. It didn't have groups. It didn't have a group chat, right? It didn't have groups and clubs. But man, we had community out here in these streets. And when you met a Sega fan, you met one for life. It was beautiful. And we were determined to be felt in the world. This is something that really happened way before Nintendo was #1. Nintendo reminds me, it's just perception, right? You got Mario, but Mario's doing, and this is not and I love Mario, right? But Mario's did nothing different from day one. Jump on top of a Goomba, break some blocks, jump on the pole like a stripper and slide down and go through the next level. I don't care what you got going on, right? That's the Mario Brothers legacy. Luigi's in there, you're playing, you know, you die, Mario come, then they co-opted, but you're still doing the same things. And because Nintendo's just popular, the populace will buy it. Didn't mean Nintendo was the best console. And you had Sega out here who literally made arcade games, right? And it takes something like that, Ebot. It took, because Nintendo was so popular, other companies couldn't breathe. This is the facts. There was tons of consoles that never came to see the daylight because of Nintendo. And there's a bad, dark history with Nintendo. It's a bad, dark history. But Nintendo don't want to compete. They scared to compete. That's a form of weakness. Now, real gamers know that side. Real gamers know that side. But you want to know why Sega was such a mosquito to Nintendo? It's because Sony could build their own game. I mean, not Sony, I'm sorry. Sega was a mosquito to Nintendo because Sega could build their own games. They were self-integrated. So it didn't matter what Nintendo was doing, Sega could always put out video games. That was the upper hand that they had. Now look at Xbox. Xbox can't go nowhere. Sony and Nintendo cannot make Xbox disappear. Why? Because the hand that's controlling Xbox is the great Leviathan Microsoft, which is a $3 trillion company that won't let it die. It has a mission. It has a mission. Speak on it. Speak the stuff, Hebot. On top of having good graphics, gameplay, and story, what's great about Expedition 33 is that the game from a small team, plus it was on Game Pass, which helped expose the game even more. Not to mention its music. Exactly. The thing about it is, Hebot, the masses, they get into those games, because you know now that my history of gaming is Hebot, not co-op gamers like we do. Or shoot 'em ups and fun games, and the fun aspect. They're more emotional driven gamers. They want those story games, and they like I said, I don't have a problem with that, right? I knew that Expedition 33 was going to win just off the fact of the backing that it had, small team, and that the quality of that game was the way that game was made, right? I knew that it was going to be a big deal. I remember watching Showcase, talked about that game. But when you look at South, right, Gotti would be put. I never looked at South for Midnight as a Gotti. I never did. But I did look at it as this game needs every accolade that it can get, because I'm from the South. I'm not from Louisiana, but I got people that live in Louisiana, and I got friends from Louisiana. And when I tell you that they painted that picture as almost as close as real as it can possibly get with the folklore, they did. And for that game to get Impactful Award is deserving. That means if it's the game that impacted this whole entire year. That means if you didn't win Game of the Year, after that game, ain't nothing really to talk about. And if that's what, kudos to them, kudos to what's going forward, kudos to a lot of stuff that's being thrown out the door now. They can, they can be mad at the Game Awards because things didn't go their way. But things are not gonna continue to go their way now. This was it, Ebot. This was it. This was it now. Now we've entered. We done lived through Nintendo, we done lived through Sega, and we done lived through Sony, PlayStation. There's only one more left. Steam Deck got in here. Valve knows. They jumped in here because they know this is a last hurrah type of situation. Because once Microsoft starts pushing with Xbox, they ain't stopping it. You talking? They're not stopping. That ghost is gonna go wherever it can to possess a host, to do one thing, to get you to buy their games, and ain't no platform, no gaming platform in the world is going to stop them. They have the major operating system in Windows. They have the second biggest, and the number one versatile cloud infrastructure in Azure. You're done for. They done put $80 billion in the AI technology. You're done for. They done made the major collaboration with AMD. You're done for. Microsoft didn't do all of that to not pace itself to be in the forefront. It didn't do that just to be lollygagging around. They ain't do that to be lagging around, y'all. I'm telling you. It's all set up. The pieces are.
It's a new ball game now.
It is. It is. It's a new ball game, and you just gonna have to get used to it, man, because it ain't changing. You because it's possible. It's possible because Grand Theft Auto 6 comes in too late. That list will be at the bottom. Now it could, but if it just comes out a couple days, it can't win God. It is a couple of days. But who's to say? We don't know. But I do know this. Xbox is going to have a lot of chances to finally come out undisputed next year. I mean, when you think of the lineup of games that is about to happen next year, it's going to be hard to deny one of those games as a Gotti. And just think about it. Rockstar can care less about a Gotti. They can't care. They don't care about them. But just think about it. If Microsoft has a game that won a Gotti in the same year that Grand Theft Auto exists, that's going to be a Resident Gamer.
Yes, sir.
So, man, I appreciate you saying, yo, legal. I got some stuff I want to talk about. Let's get this show on the road. I appreciate you, man. Everything that you do. Shout out to the family.
Shout out to the chat, Pat. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yes, sir. We're going to get up out of here. And look, y'all, now we have Xbox Developer Direct show to look forward to. I hope all of y'all get to that point with me, Lord's willing. Yo, Merry Christmas to everybody out here and a Happy New Year's.
Merry
We'll
Christmas.
we'll probably be doing one more show just for the holidays, a holiday show, a summary show, sum up our year. Thanks for all the support that y'all do. Continue to game and push forward your gaming. Get ready to start investing. Gaming is going to places that's never been gone before. You guys, man, are the best. And I want to say, man, thank y'all for all the support that y'all do.
We're gonna do a giveaway for Christmas. One game of your choice.
Well, and guess what? That's right. Glad you said it. And Resident Gamer came up with a great idea. Okay, so I forgot to tell y'all last show, as a matter of fact, but I haven't forgot now. Okay, so Resident Gamer and I are going to start playing some co-op games, and we're going to do it on Twitch. So what I need to do now is put the Twitch information in here. As a matter of fact, I'll put it in the comment section when we're done. I'll put it up there, and then as we continue to do shows, I'll keep putting it up there. But for anybody, matter of fact, let me see if I can, because this will be another way for us to do giveaways for video games. We're going to try to build this thing up. This will be our way to get back to the community. Me and him, since now, let's use the Twitch channel as the only way to get back to the Mighty Chat Pad. They've been here with us for so long, man, always supporting us. Information in, feel free to follow it, get active. We'll be watching, and we'll be sending out code the blue. You'll be surprised. Acting like I don't want to do it. Here we go. I got actually gameplay. This is actually, matter of fact, this is Cosmic Invasion. But this is a quick. I put it in there. Oh, really? Hear nothing? Thanks, Talos Ree. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people been. Yeah, we don't know. Of course, we don't know. We're listening to y'all, but I'll just say this real quick. We're putting down the Twitch location. Go ahead and follow it. This is Resident Gamer Zero and the New Legal's way of giving back to y'all from DIRREC Gaming. This will be our show. Me and Realist have already been on there in previous times. We did live recording, and we did the Wulong and all of those things. So I'm on solo leveling Arise Overdrive right now, but I'm doing most of my recordings from my ROG Ally. So we're going to just shift over when we do some party shows, when we want to get together and do something live in the community. We'll be putting it over there for you guys. That'll be a great way, we feel, where we can give y'all rewards and games through that. And so that's what we're going to do moving forward, y'all. So find us over there on the Twitch channel. You want some free games? And if you want us to demonstrate something, right? You want any of us, from me, Rez, to Realist. Me and Realist still got to do Dying Light, the Beast, We're going to be doing all those types of things, and we'll be putting them over on Twitch. If you have any games that you want us to try to look at, hey, don't start telling me to play the Barbie game or the My Little Pony stuff. But I'm talking about, you know, games that are going to be something that we feel like we're going to be interested about. And if you're curious about it, shoot it to us when we do live shows or we're on Twitch, and we'll get it and we'll play it and let's all see what it's about. I'm down for that too. But the number one thing is we want to get back to y'all, man. So we're going to get out of here. I want to say much love to everybody, and we're out of here. Rez, you got anything you want to say before we get it?
No, we'll see you guys at the next show, and thanks for coming out as always. Have a good night. Merry Christmas.
Peace. We out of here.
Peace.